Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rich Bradley, President of the Board of Public Service. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Public Service for Tuesday, February 6, 2024. This is a public meeting. There are no lettings today, but there is one hearing which we will handle at this time. This hearing 8282 is being conducted pursuant to Chapter 8.97 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis. The applicant, Honeymoon Tattoo, CO, Megan Indelicato, is proposing to operate a tattoo parlor at 3235 Ivanhoe Avenue. Due to the nature of the business, the applicant is required to hold a license issued by this board pursuant to the guidelines of Chapter 8.97 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis. Procedural history. December 12, 2023, the Certificate of Occupancy and Zoning number OP-755-23 issued to Honeymoon Tattoo for the use at 3235 Ivanhoe Avenue as a tattoo studio with retail sales of t-shirts and no piercings. December 7th, 2023, the applicant submits to BPS a completed BPS tattoo parlor license, application numbered as 132017 for one chair for the proposed premise at 3235 Ivanhoe Avenue. January 4th, 2024, a letter from Health Commissioner Anwari to BPS finding no evidence of health code violations at the facility at 3235 Ivanhoe Avenue and thereby recommends issuance of a BPS license for a tattoo parlor. As outlined in section 8.97.070 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis, the Board of Public Service may approve such an application after a hearing if it is satisfied that the applicant is of good moral character and that the applicant has given evidence that he will be able to operate the premise in compliance with all regulations and laws governing such premise, and the applicant is a resident of a state and his neighborhood consent petition is in due form, and the applicant's premise are not within 500 feet of an elementary school. The Board of Public Service has in its possession and is therefore admitted to evidence the following documents. Item 1, a certified copy of Chapter 8.97 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis. Item 2, the applicant's file with the Office of Secretary, Board of Public Service, which includes but not limited to A, the above referenced license application with a drawing of the proposed premise, and B, public notices that were published and posted for today's hearing. Item 3, a copy of the Certificate of Occupancy and Zoning issued for 3235 Ivanhoe Avenue to be occupied as a tattoo studio with no retail sales or piercings. Item 4, a letter from the Health Commissioner, Victoria Anwari, stating that the community sanitation staff inspected the facility at 3235 Ivanhoe Avenue and found no evidence of health code violations. Issuance of a license for a tattoo establishment was hereby recommended. And item 5, copies of the letters dated January 17, 2024, sent from the Secretary of the Board notifying Honeymoon Tattoo, CO, Megan Indelicato, 3235 Ivanhoe Avenue, first floor, and 3235 Ivanhoe LLC, CO, Nestor Wheelock of this hearing. The board will swear in and hear from the applicants and those in support of the applicant's proposed use. The board will then allow those in opposition, if any, of the tattoo parlor to address the board. After each side has had an opportunity to speak, the board will then allow for rebuttal. At this time, I would ask that the applicant please come forward, raise your right hand, and be sworn in by the secretary.
Okay. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give at this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please state your name and address for the board.
Megan and Delicato, and do you want the address of the building?
Your home address, please.
That is 5301 Chippewa Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63109.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I have a series of questions. If you would answer those, please. And
My
then I will
pleasure.
give you an opportunity to address the board, okay?
Okay. Mhm.
Number one, are you a resident of the state of Missouri?
Yes,
Number two, the state of Missouri requires tattoo establishments to be issued a license from the Director of the Division of Professional Registration of the state of Missouri for the operation. Do you have a license for this proposed tattoo establishment issued by the Director of the Division of Professional Registration of the state of Missouri?
yes, I do.
Number three, how many tattoo chairs are being applied for?
Just one.
And are you aware that any increase in the number of tattoo chairs must be applied for with this board?
Yes, I am.
Okay? And how many employees will you have at this establishment?
It will be just me there.
And so all tattoo artists have their Missouri State licensure, which is you?
Yes, that would be true.
Thank you. Will you be able to comply with the provisions of chapter 8.97 of the revised code of the city of St. Louis, specifically as follows? A, do you understand that you, as the operator of this tattoo parlor, are at all times responsible for the orderly conduct of the establishment and the acts of any of your agents, servants, or employees in the operation of the same?
Yes,
B, do you understand that tattoo establishments may only be open between 9 AM and 1 AM?
correct.
And what are your proposed hours?
My proposed hours are in between 8 AM and 8 AM and 8 AM and 8 PM, I believe.
Okay, so go back one, the operation can be between 9 AM and 1 AM. So you're saying 8 AM?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous. 9
okay.
AM
Time.
and 8 PM.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that clarification.
Thank you.
Number C, do you understand that tattoo parlors shall be kept clean and well lighted so that the rear of the premise is plainly visible from the front of such premise?
Absolutely, yes.
And will you be able to comply and maintain the tattoo parlor as such?
100%.
Okay, and finally, do you understand that no tattoo parlor shall allow or permit any loud noises, boisterous or disorderly conduct in or around the premise or on the grounds of such premise, and the operator shall prevent the loitering of persons on the premise or around the grounds of the premise of the tattoo parlor?
Yes, I do.
And will you be able to comply with these regulations?
Absolutely.
Okay, that is the end of the formal questions. I would ask if you would like to address the board and say anything.
I would love to. Thank you for having me, President Bradley. I have prepared a little statement. Thank you for having me today. My name's Megan. I come from a large family that's been in St. Louis for generations. I truly, truly love the city so much. I have a deep-rooted love for the city that can be attested by my dedication to positive change and just genuine love for the people here. I have been in the tattoo industry for a decade and have tattooed not only all around the States, but in England, Wales, Ireland, Spain, you name it. So I do have a wealth of knowledge on tattooing and all different what it looks like all over the place. No matter where I travel, though, this city is always my home, and I do feel that it is my purpose to open up a very unique tattoo shop, unlike any other in this city. Normally, in tattoo shops, and even today, they're very male-centered. It's it's typical for there to be a cool guy attitude, and you kind of the as a client, you are subjected to their control. The client tattooer balance isn't even. I've heard so many times clients saying, well, I wanted this, but they told me I needed to do that or this and that. And I hate hearing that. And what I am gifted at is making people feel comfortable, making people feel like they're in control of the situation. I can educate you on my knowledge of tattooing, but ultimately it's your choice because it's your body. Um, I can create environments where people feel like they have control over their choices, know they're safe, and are blown away by the service they're receiving. You can clearly see that by my lengthy list of repeat clientele and wait list. St. Louis has so many tattoo shops, but none quite like mine, balancing the magic of traditional tattooing and you will leave feeling like you made a friend. I also have built connections in my new neighborhood, which I love so much. I really love Lindenwood Park. Um, I've made connections with neighbors and local businesses alike. We're all excited for me to fill this space on 3235 Ivanhoe. I've had a lot of people just share how excited they are for that building to be filled, for there to be new life brought into the neighborhood. I've also gone to several of the neighborhood meetings, and not only have I spoken, but I'm eager to work with them on community events, whether it's at the park or contributing artwork or anything. I really desire to be a part of this community and just make it better in any way that I can. Um, I do agree to all the guidelines that the neighborhood has set for me, as well as the city and the state. I don't know if you guys have that in your possession, but I did have a few pages of signatures from local businesses and neighbors alike saying, we want her here, we're really excited about it, bring it on, you know? But ultimately, there's so much joy around this endeavor, and I'm so excited to make it come to life. And I'm just willing to do just about anything to make it happen. I've done everything that I've been told to make this work. So if you have any more questions, I'm more than happy to answer any of them.
Thank you so much for your comments. At this time, I'll ask if there's any members of the board that would have a question for our applicant. Seeing none, thank you very much. At this time, I'll ask if there's anyone in favor of the applicant or proposed establishment that wishes to testify. Please come forward and be sworn in. Is
Okay,
there
President.
anyone in the room, Michelle?
Yes, President Bradley, we have the owner of 3235 Ivanhoe, and his name is Mr.
Mr. Wheelock,
Okay, go ahead and swear him in, please.
Okay, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give at this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes, I do.
Thank you. Please state your name and your address for the board again. please.
Okay, my name is Nestor Wheelock, and I am the resident at 3235 Ivanhoe, St. Louis, Missouri, 63139. I have prepared a statement, if you'll allow me to read it.
Go right
Okay.
ahead, please.
Thank you very much. I am the upstairs neighbor, the owner, and the landlord. I'm also a member of the LGBTQ community, and I support Megan's mission. I think it's really important what she's doing here. I bought the building, some mixed use residential and commercial building in the Zone F neighborhood, residential neighborhood. Bought it 14 years ago with my former partner. I restored and I rehabbed it to its 1925 charm. It took a lot of effort and work to make this building pretty. So I have a lot invested in my property and community. Previously, I had a computer shop, South City Computer, in the space that Megan wants to open her studio in. For a decade, I'm proud to have served over 5,000 customers over the years, many from the neighborhood. My partner was also a board member of the Lindenwood Park Neighborhood Association, and I was the vice president of the Watson Business Association that also included the Ivanhoe District. I know all my neighbors personally for many, many years. So when Megan came to me and spoke, I spoke to all of them up and down the block, behind the property, to folks on Bradley and up the alleyway to the folks up on Scanlon that I know, to make sure that a tattoo studio would be okay. They all thought it was fine, as long as the shop operated the same as what they were used to with my shop. So here are the conditions that we discussed with my neighbors to give permission for our support. So important things were keep the sidewalks and the property clear of all trash and debris, remove snow and ice promptly in front sidewalks and the entrance upway to the business. Keep the property in front and the back free of the weeds and out back by the dumpsters and the alley. Keep that nice and neat for the neighbors to see. No smoking on property in front of the property. I think that's important because that keeps cigarette butts away. And I don't like to smell it upstairs, to tell you the truth. So that's one of my house rules I think that I should get as being the neighbor. Maintain the front storefront, so no unsightly chip and paint, etc. You know, make the window display slightly, you know, organized, family friendly, I think is what I'm getting at here. Not like a typical tattoo shop where you have neon signs or you have like real late, you know, bad decision after drinking tattoos. That's what the neighbors did not want it to look like. And so far she's done a great job. It looks nothing like that. It looks amazing. So it's following the character of the neighborhood. So that's what we want is for just to fit in, because it's a Zone F neighborhood commercial district. And we have 2 residential houses right across the street and behind the alley. So, you know, we want it to have a very mellow vibe. And to keep, as I discussed with my neighbors and reassured and promised them, the studio will only do tattoos and possibly sell t-shirts, I think was something that would be like, okay. And then that they keep the professional hours that they're used to by appointment only was part of the original discussion I had with Meg when she came and talked to me. And so far that seems to be the plan. So my interpretation of those were Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then any special events or parties or after work, because everybody needs something like that sometimes, where they're gonna have some friends over and they're gonna, you know, do like a private ideation thing. Like I'm okay with that, but to ask permission of the neighbors first before you do anything like that. And let's see. Yeah, just like, yeah, respect the peace and the quiet of the folks who live close, because we all live real close. So that's all we want. And aside from that, everybody supports it that I talk to. I think that you guys can be reassured that this is going to go down and be a really great business in addition to the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you very much. I do have one question for you. So
Sure.
you had mentioned, Mr. Wheelock, you are the owner of the property, correct?
That's correct. And I live upstairs.
That's all I need to know. I'd like this time ask if any of our board members have any questions for Mr. Wheelock. Okay, seeing none, I will ask again, is there anyone else in the room, Michelle?
No, there's not.
Okay, if there's anyone else in favor of the applicant or proposed establishment wish to testify, please come forward at this time. I don't see anyone in the chat. I know there's no one else in the room. Am I missing anyone here?
Could I make one more addition? I don't
Yes,
know.
ma'am.
Thank you, Nestor. I really appreciate everything you've said. I just wanted to bring up that I did get a letter of support from my alderman and also from my neighborhood association. I don't know if you guys had copies of those, but I just wanted to bring that to attention.
Very important. Thank you for mentioning that. Okay.
Megan.
Mr. Kistner, did you have a comment? Okay, all right, thank you. So I see no one else in favor at this time, so we will
President
move-
Pratt,
I'm sorry?
Mr. Whitlock did want to say one more thing, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to assure you that that letter that she has is authentic. I also talked to them too, the alderman and my friends in the neighborhood association, so she's telling the truth.
At this time, I'll ask if there's anyone in opposition to the applicant or the proposed establishment that wishes to testify. Please come forward and be sworn in. Is there anyone in the room with you, Michelle?
No, there's not.
Okay, I don't see anyone on the chat. I don't see anyone else on the screen. If you're here in opposition, please bring it to my attention at this time. Seeing none, the matter concerning hearing number 8282 is now closed and submitted. The board will deliberate the matter following the remaining agenda items. Can you call the roll, please? Michelle?
I'm sorry, President Bradley, could you repeat that?
Yes, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Director Coyle,
Present.
Director Davis,
Present.
Director Hayes,
Present.
Director Pearson,
Present.
Director Scobie,
Present.
Director Williams,
Present.
President Bradley.
Present, we have a quorum. I'll call a meeting to order.
Regular business. From the President, recommendation that approval be given as follows. Item 1, ADA self-evaluation and transition plan to address barriers to accessibility in the public right-of-way and city-owned property, including buildings, properties, and parks. Item 2, amendment number 1 to Equipment Service Division, contract number 74381. Diagnose, repair, replace, and test electronic valves, hoses, pressure controls, and regulators on aerial and bucket vehicles with Altech Inc. This first amendment hereby extends the termination date to March 10, 2026, and increases the maximum amount not to exceed $1,200,000. Item 3, Brickline Greenway funding agreement by and between the Metropolitan Parks Recreation District doing business as the Green River Greenway District and the City of St. Louis, Missouri for the development of Brickline Greenway and the Brickline North Corridor authorized by ordinance number 71560. Item 4, abstract of proposals received December 19, 2023 for the public work as advertised under letting number 8767, Lafayette Bridge on Grand Drive repairs and Old Stable Bridge repairs. There were 4 bids received on the bid date. Millstone Weber LLC was read as a apparent lowest bidder. A review of the MBE WBE participation submitted revealed that a good faith effort was not made and Millstone Weber LLC did not achieve the MWBE goals. The President's office recommended that Millstone Weber LLC's bid be rejected. It is further recommended that preliminary approval be given to the third responsible bidder, Kazini Wagner Inc. for $1,443,254.40. Item 5, non-federal reimbursable agreement for line of sight study of the airfield maintenance facility and consolidated terminal at St. Louis Lambert International Airport by and between the Federal Aviation Administration. This agreement is authorized by ordinance number 67357. Item 6, PSA number 1269, construction supervision and material testing for the reconstruction of Taxi Lane Charlie from Taxiway Sierra to Taxiway Golf at St. Louis Lambert International Airport with Kwame Green Joint Venture for the maximum agreement amount of $2,238,418. From the Directors of Public Utilities, recommendation that the board declares as emergency action the following. Item 1, all labor, parts, and equipment needed to recondition the number 14 rotating assembly, including field service work to remove and balance the number 14 rotating assembly. This critical pumping equipment served to pump potable water into the water distribution center at the Howard Bend Water Treatment Plant. The estimated cost of this work is $40,000. Item 2, all labor and repairs to install the rotating assembly for pump number 16. This critical pumping equipment serves to pump potable water into the water distribution center at the Howard Bend Water Treatment Plant. The estimated cost of this work is $23,750. From the Directors of Public Safety and Utilities, joint recommendation that the following be approved, subject to certain condition. Request from Mark Shearing to adjust the boundary at 2739 Lafayette Avenue in City Block 2133. There's a correction on this. Mr. Shearing will be adjusting a boundary and consolidating the plat at 2739 Lafayette. Item 2, request from THD Design to consolidate 3935 West Florissant Avenue into 4 lots in City Block 3398. Joint recommendation that the following be denied, subject to certain conditions. Request from TL Consultants to subdivide Lot 2 and Lot 3 of Julia C. Soulord's 3rd edition in City Block 385. From the Directors of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following be approved, subject to certain conditions. Request from Ranieri Construction for public works, for public improvements at 6803 Scanlon Avenue to install a modular block retaining wall at the back and side of public sidewalk and install a new privacy fence. Item 2, application number 131841, request from Union Electric doing business as Ameren, Missouri, to construct new multiple conduit duct banks and manholes within the sidewalk for the new Dorcas substation between Arsenal and South Broadway right-of-way. Item 3, request from Union Electric doing business as Ameren, Missouri, to install new conduit and cable for the MLK Northwest 8 feeder in downtown St. Louis, beginning at 1510 Lucas Avenue and ending at 1432 Locust Street. Joint recommendation that one application from AT&T be approved, subject to certain conditions. Application number 2 for 1718 North Jefferson Avenue. Joint recommendation that 3 applications from Charter be approved, subject to certain conditions. Application number 3 for 5049 Flyer Avenue. Application number 215 for 2628 Gamble. Application number 216 for 3822 Laclede Avenue. Joint recommendation that one application from Verizon be approved, subject to certain conditions. Application number 199 for 4040 South First Street. From the Director of Public Safety, we have conditional use permits.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of the board. My name is Steve Narr, zoning specialist for the city, and I'll be representing the building commissioner at today's meeting. For board order number 766, transmitted herewith our recommendations for the following conditional use agenda applications. Approval with conditions is recommended for 5 applications. 3730 Foundry Way, Suite 168. 6106 Lolite Avenue, 5051 Riverview Boulevard, 3765 Graveway Avenue, and 2901 Union Boulevard.
Thank you, Steve. Are there any questions or comments on today's conditional uses?
Greg
Seeing
Hayes,
none,
I
I'll
make
ask
a
for a
motion.
motion, please.
Greg Hayes, make a motion to approve the conditional uses as submitted.
Second,
Thank you, directors. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Coyle,
Aye.
Director Davis, Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Pearson,
aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Williams,
Aye.
President Bradley.
Aye, today's conditional uses are approved. Hearing number 8282 Honeymoon Tattoo, Megan and Delicato, 3235 Ivanhoe Avenue. We have a letter from the Commissioner of Health recommending the license. The applicant spoke with us today and said she will comply with all provisions of chapter 8.97 of the revised code. We had the building owner, Mr. Wheelock, speak in support of this conditional use license. We also were notified that we have a supporting letter from the alderperson and a supporting letter from the neighborhood association, and there was no one present at today's hearing to speak in opposition. So at this time, I'll open the floor for any discussion.
President Bradley, can you forgive me? Is this the applicant's first time before us, or is this an applicant that was with us before and is coming back?
So there's a little bit of history that goes along with this. I'm not gonna tell you that I know all of the history, but she has been with us before and this is a new location. So we've never had an issue that I'm aware of with it. So I believe that, that this is not a problem.
Thank you. It was just important for that clarification because my memory served me well, and I needed to know if there was anything that was pending from the prior time the applicant was before us. The statement today was very clear and positive, but I just needed to make sure from a business perspective and ethical perspective, we have nothing outstanding at this time.
Yes, I do not have anything else that I'm aware of. I know that she has been an applicant in the past, but I'm not aware that there is any issue pertaining to this particular conditional use itself. So I would say no issue at this time.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes, ma'am. Any further questions? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion, please.
I move to approve.
Second, Scobie. Thank you, directors. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Coyle,
Aye.
Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Pearson.
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Williams. Aye. President Bradley.
Aye, approved. Thank you. I'd like to turn your attention to our meeting minutes from last Tuesday, January 30th, 2024. Are there any questions or comments on the meeting minutes as presented? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve, please.
Motion to approve, Coyle.
Second, Hayes.
Thank you. Can you call the roll?
Director Coyle,
Aye.
Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Pearson,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Williams. Aye. President Bradley.
Aye, the meeting minutes are approved. Today's agenda, are there any questions or comments on today's BPS meeting agenda? Again, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve. So moved, Scobie.
Second, Williams.
Thank you, directors. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Coyle,
Aye.
Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Pearson,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Williams,
Aye.
President Bradley.
Aye, today's meeting agenda is approved. Before we adjourn, are there any questions or comments from any of our board directors? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn, please. So moved, Scobie.
Second, Davis.
Thank you. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Have a nice afternoon.
Have a good one.
Aye.